Hi there guys, my name's Chris. Today we're going to be discussing what professionalism and transparency mean in a self-branding context. We will also be looking into which technique is more justifiable when looking for work. We'll be focusing on these two main ideologies and their presence in the workplace. The main concern with this self-branding ideology came around from Web 2.0. It prompted our modern society to become extremely obsessed with self-image, self-branding, and online social media presences. This was identified by Whitmer in 2014. Therefore, the importance to stand out to professional employers was and is becoming a more contentious concern, with a balance between the professional and transparent presence online becoming an integral part of an individual's search for work. This is also noted by Zimmerman. However, which type of self-branding to base a persona on is still unclear. This is due to workplaces attempting to gain insight from social media presences of prospective employees, as well as trying to gain insight into an individual's personality from what they post online. Throughout university, students are repetitively told to curate their persona to a degree of lifelessness. This is where their own identity is lost in favour of a consistent autonomous persona, being in this case professional. In my opinion, this results in a lack of creative substance conveyed, and a lack of individual personality in industries which require uniqueness and creative thought. So which form of presenting ourselves is more advantageous in this digital context, where our online presences are judged over our real life character? Is it transparency? Or is it professionalism? I think we should start off with the results of my primary research. For this research and in the context of this investigation, participants will remain anonymous. However, their positions in general, such as student or account executive, will be made viable to make the content of this qualitative data analysis clear. So, let's get started. I interviewed a sample of 25 PR-related candidates. The breakdown is as follows: 16 PR students, 3 PR academics, 4 PR account managers, and 2 managing directors of companies. I asked these participants questions about their own online presences, what they thought about being transparent and professional online, and what they would look for when hiring an individual. The results were quite interesting. I first want to start off with the synonymous words they gave me for transparent and professional in this context. Words they found synonymous with transparent were honest, authentic, risky, childish, and unprofessional. Words they found synonymous with professional were clean, mature, experienced, confident, and constructed. 3 out of the 5 connotative words of transparency could be described as negative, while really none of the synonymous words for professionalism could be described as negative. Does this mean professionalism is more justifiable in this context? The stigma regarding transparency in the offline world may be translating into a more physical form in the digital world. This concept may be growing out of control, to the point where employers are judging us based on our online presences and purely on these online presences. This is a concept which Manrup and Richard So predict will be a part of our future. Whitmer, however, notes that transparent selves in regards to bloggers, influencers, and social media profiles is justifiable if the audience perceives it as valuable. In this situation, is transparency or professionalism valuable? Pagis also coins in here with the connotations of professional branding, with the 3 main rhetoric efforts being uniqueness, friendliness, and realness of display. These are used to convey the value of an individual. However, along with professional self-branding in this case comes negative ramifications. Pagis also notes that self-branding commodifies and erodes not only the self, but the professional values in the workplace, along with identities, end quote. I then asked my participants if they will look at Facebook profiles before employing an individual. With the obvious resounding yes, I dug a little deeper to find out more information. I asked them if they could gather any information about me and my own online presence and give me some feedback on what I could do better. I was extremely shocked to find that PR professionals actually enjoyed the aggregation and curation of my content, coining it to that of a social media manager. One mentioned, "You can tell you have a lot of fun with what you post in line and put a lot of effort into constructing it. It's both professional and authentic." While on the other side of the coin, academics mentioned that I overshare on my online presence, with silly pictures, drunken photos, and strange posts from the past showing back up. A student from my research mentioned that if I wanted a job in PR, I would put this account on private. If you don't have an account on private, it's like going to a job interview naked. Going to a job interview like this would not be ideal. The thing is, employers do look at prospective employees' social media accounts. JobVite shows 93% of hiring managers reviewing a candidate's Facebook account. 55% of these candidates are reconsidered, and 61% of them have been due to negative outlooks on their online presences. The most negative content relates to posts with illegal drugs, alcohol, sexual posts, political bias, along with poor grammar and spelling mistakes. Moving on from this, I gave my participants 2 social media accounts. With these 2 accounts, I asked them if they were transparent or professional. The first account is a UOW student. In this profile, notable comments revolved around fun, clean, and professional. Upon scrolling down, they found that there was a video of this individual drinking on her timeline. This is when participants began to connotate transparency and unprofessional behaviour. While the other profile is merely for personal use, this one is only for professional use, for business purposes as well, with content revolving around their company. The main used to describe this profile were professional, structured, and mature. However, the majority of students called this profile quite boring. The first of the 2 is a UOW student, while the second is the managing director of a startup company. The overall consensus of my participants was that the first profile was transparent while the second was professional. From this we can identify that by being transparent, personas online can be perceived as unprofessional by being authentic. However, along with this ideology, most participants mentioned that this profile was more interesting and conveyed more personality. When prompting professional PR account managers and managing directors, they say they would hire based on this online presence. This is due to the quality of content that has been posted and the clear personality traits that have been conveyed. In this way, it can be argued that transparency may indeed be a justifiable way to self-brand. The rationale that personality is a predictor of job performance was established by Kluempert et al.'s 2012 study, which evaluated that social media could be correlated to job performance. This is interesting as the other account, where there was lack of personal content, connotated to professional and mature. When prompted this time, PR professionals were less likely to say professional, with only 75% of my participants saying that they would hire him. In this way, we can see that employers can identify what transparency and professional is in the social media context. However, are unlikely to make the decisions purely based on online presence alone. Zimmerman agrees with this statement, as an online presence only gives a fabricated window of what an employee's life truly is. Then asked the question, would they hire me based on this online presence? And the surprising answer was that 17 out of 25 said yes. They mentioned that they would hire me due to my strong online presence and my ability to post engaging, quality, and personal content regularly. The other eight perceived this as oversharing and showing too much of my personal vulnerability. What is interesting about these results is that 3 of the 8 were students, all 3 academics, and the other 2 were account managers. The MDs liked the transparency and personal approach that I took to creating my online presences, as well as my self-branding image. At the end of this investigation, it is clear that both ways of curating an online persona can be justifiable, both having their flaws and positive outcomes. It not only comes down to preference, but the authenticity of a professional curation of content. My group and also agreed that social media is an important part of how modern graduates are finding jobs. They mentioned that social media should be added to a curricula in tertiary education. From their research, they found that there was a clear delineation between the professional and personal usage of social media in regards to job searching. An interesting point to make is that students of this study also looked into the social media presences of their potential employers and organizations. This was to learn more about what the recruiter and organization wanted before they actually entered the job entering phase. There is therefore a difficult balancing act to identify here. It is where personality and transparency are strived for, while professional maturity is also a must for jobs. Thanks for watching.